The life of King David, as narrated in the Bible, is a remarkable story of faith, triumph, failure, and redemption. This is an overview with key verses. David's anointing as king. David's journey begins when God rejects Saul as king and sends the prophet Samuel to anoint David, the youngest son of Jesse. 1 Samuel 16:12-13. So he sent for him and had him brought in. He was glowing with health and had a fine appearance and handsome features. Then the Lord said, "Rise and anoint him. This is the one." So Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the presence of his brothers. And from that day on, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David. David and Goliath. David rises to fame when he defeats Goliath, the Philistine giant with a sling and a stone. 1 Samuel 17:45-47. David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves. For the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands." David's rise and Saul's jealousy. After his victory, David becomes a military leader, but King Saul grows jealous and seeks to kill him. 1 Samuel 18:7-9. As they danced, they sang, "Saul has slain his thousands and David his tens of thousands." Saul was very angry. This refrain displeased him greatly. And from that time on, Saul kept a close eye on David. David's friendship with Jonathan. David forms a deep friendship with Jonathan, Saul's son, who helps protect him. 1 Samuel 18:3. And Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as himself. David becomes king. After Saul's death, David is anointed king over Judah and later over all Israel. 2 Samuel 5:3. When all the elders of Israel had come to King David at Hebron, the king made a covenant with them at Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed David king over Israel. David brings the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem. David unites Israel and establishes Jerusalem as its capital, bringing the Ark of the Covenant there. 2 Samuel 6:14-15. Wearing a linen ephod, David was dancing before the Lord with all his might, while he and all Israel were bringing up the Ark of the Lord with shouts and the sound of trumpets. David's sin with Bathsheba. David sins by committing adultery with Bathsheba and arranging the death of her husband, Uriah. 2 Samuel 11:2-4. One evening, David got up from his bed and walked around on the roof of the palace. From the roof, he saw a woman bathing. The woman was very beautiful. Then David sent messengers to get her. She came to him, and he slept with her. 2 Samuel 12:13. Then David said to Nathan, "I have sinned against the Lord." Nathan replied, "The Lord has taken away your sin. You are not going to die." David's family troubles. David faces turmoil in his household, including the rebellion of his son Absalom. 2 Samuel 15:13-14. A messenger came and told David, "The hearts of the people of Israel are with Absalom." Then David said to all his officials who were with him in Jerusalem, "Come, we must flee, or none of us will escape from Absalom." David's last days and legacy. David prepares for the construction of the temple which his son Solomon will build. 1 Chronicles 22:6-7. Then he called for his son Solomon and charged him to build a house for the Lord, the God of Israel. David said to Solomon, "My son, I had it in my heart to build a house for the name of the Lord my God." David's final words reflect his faith in God's covenant. And 2 Samuel 23:5. "If my house were not right with God, surely he would not have made with me an everlasting covenant, arranged and secured in every part. Surely he would not bring to fruition my salvation and grant me my every desire." David's life is a testimony of God's grace and sovereignty. Despite his failures, he was described as a man after God's own heart. Acts 13:22. After removing Saul, he made David their king. God testified concerning him, "I have found David, son of Jesse, a man after my own heart. He will do everything I want him to do."